Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to my kitchen. Today we're doing some crochet. I thought that it's time, it's fall, it's time. We need to delve into the crochet. So we're doing something very beginner friendly. At least I'm hoping to make it very beginner friendly. I'm going to attempt to show you how to make a fun little, hello there, headband, crocheted headband, okay, with the fun little ribbed texture. This is very super easy and quick, okay? Now, if you are just a beginner, just starting out, like fresh, don't even know how to hold a hook, I'm gonna go through this with you tonight. Super easy, I swear. If you get frustrated, it's okay. Crochet is kind of one of those things that is a little bit difficult to pick up in the beginning. But once you like have at it and practice and do your thing, it becomes very easy and very soothing to do. In fact, it's one of the things that like I do for my Zen to calm down. It's very relaxing, unless you're trying to figure out a very complicated pattern, and then, you know, not so much. But today is not that day. Today is the day where we say, I'm gonna do this and it's gonna be fun. So this headband I made not too long ago, I don't even know when, but we're going to do something very similar. Same technique, just a little bit more of a bulkier yarn. Just because I find that when you're beginning out in this world of crochet, it's super beneficial to start with a bulkier yarn. So you can see what you need to do and see your stitches. If you hear my dogs, I apologize. So all you need is some yarn. This one happens to be Wool Ease Thick and Quick. This is by Lionbrand. This is 87 yards. Okay, we're not going to use this whole thing, I promise. You can probably get 2 or 3 headbands out of this. And then it is this icon right here that you're gonna be looking for, is the super bulky number 6. And then to the right, you're going to see this hook icon, and it's gonna look weird, but it says in there, if I can get close enough, 9mm. And that's the hook size that you want to use for this particular yarn. Each yarn is different, but when it tells you what size to use, that's the size that they prefer for that particular yarn. So then you'll need the 9mm hook. You can use any type of hook that says 9mm on it. This one just happens to be the one I have. And you can find all of these items at, you know, any craft store, any like Walmart, any craft store basically, online. And then you'll need a fabric or sewing, whatever this is, measuring tape. So something that's flexible like this. This is to measure around your head, okay? So this will tell you how wide you want to make it. And we're making it just wide enough to where it'll cover our ears. So this could be considered like an ear warmer thing. I don't know. It's super cute though. And then, so that's the width. And then the length is how long we need to make it to wrap around our head. So you'll need to measure from end to end around your head like this, okay? And that'll give you the length that you need to work up to. Hopefully that makes sense. So then after that, you write down your measurements. We are going to need a pair of scissors and then some yarn needles. Now this is what you're gonna use if there's any little ends or tails that are left over, just weave them in. So you want something with a big enough eye, and this might not even be big enough, we'll see when it comes to it. You can find yarn needles in many different types, okay? You don't want these tiny little ones with the tiny little eyes you can't even see. You want something that's big enough to thread your yarn through, okay? So that's what you're gonna look for. All of these items are relatively inexpensive, and if you're thinking about taking up crochet, I promise you, you'll use them all. These headbands are super easy and they make great gifts. They make great, you know, super quick and easy appreciation gifts, you know, you name it, super easy. You can add any kind of thing you want to it, such as buttons or pins, or, you know, make it your own. But I'm just going to show you the basics today. So what I'm doing is what's going to fit general public's head, I guess. You can customize it to the width that you want or the length that you want. The width is really easy to customize, and we'll get into it as I show you. But side note here, if you need to figure out a width size, the chains across, we're gonna do 8. You can add more or remove them. So you can do like 10 across or 4, whatever you want. I will show you what it looks like, and then you can decide for yourself if that feels right for you or whoever you're making it for, okay? So let's get started now that this intro is like 100 years old. So you go, and my recommendation is to pull from the center. Find the end through the center of your yarn, because then your yarn's not wobbling and flopping all around. All right, you find that little end piece. Okay, so first thing that we got to do is make a slip knot. Okay, take your little tail end, and then you're going to cross it over the rest of that yarn. Okay, so you have a little loop here on the end. Put your fingers through, and then you're going to pull up that long yarn that's attached to the rest of the yarn. Okay, and you're going to create a loop. It's called a slip knot because you can slip it up and down and adjust it. And then you just stick your hook through and give yourself enough slack to where it feels like your hook can pull through easily. You don't want it too loose and you don't want it too tight. And it's up to you. Use your discretion what you feel like is a good tension. Now, let's get your left hand involved in this, or your non-dominant hand. Mine happens to be my left hand. You're going to take your pinky, hook it under that long tail, okay? The one that's attached to the rest of the yarn. Hook it under, flip your hand over. Then you're going to take your pointer finger, wrap it around. So you have some tension here. Do you see how I'm holding this and pulling? That's good. Now, with these two fingers, your middle finger and your thumb, you're going to hold on to that tail. I know it's a lot. I promise you it gets easier. If you need to rewind, go for it. So now that you have the tension, you're going to take your hook, place it under that yarn, and just gently pull through. That, my friends, is your first chain. We're going to make a total of 8, okay? So I'll show you again. I now move my fingers from the tail up to this chain, and I just pinch it. Under, grab a hold of that yarn, pull through that loop, your second chain. Under, pull through, under, pull through. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to make 4 more. 5, 6, whoop, 7, 8. And you are now left with this braid looking thing. And you can count how many chains you have just by looking at the V's. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. All right, now we are ready to make our first row of single crochets. Now, there are multiple ways that one can do this. We're gonna go for the easy route because it's all about easy for a beginner, which is sticking our hook through the middle of the V's into those loops. Others can go through the back loop. This creates a more solid ridge line, but I feel like this can get a little dicey for beginners. So instead of doing that, flip it over. We're gonna go through the center of the V's. And with that being said, adjust your tension and look at the first chain that's closest to your hook. You're gonna skip it. We don't need it. That's going to act as our turning chain, and I'll tell you more about that in a second. So we're going to go and find the next V, stick our hook through the center, do the same thing, pull this yarn through, and now you're left with 2 chains or 2 hooks on your, can I speak? 2 loops on your hook. 2 loops. Gosh. 2 loops on your hook. All right. Next we do yarn over, pull all the way through both of those loops, and that is your first single crochet. Now you're going to do it the rest of the way, and we want to make sure we have 7 single crochets, okay? So that was 1. Okay, go through the center. Let's see if I can get a little bit closer without it blurring. So go through the center right here, yarn over, pull that loop up, yarn over again, pull it through both. Okay, so we're just going to continue to do this all the way across until we have a total of 7 single crochets. This is your most basic of basic crochet knots. Okay, if you need to pause the video, slow it down, rewind it, go ahead and do that. I don't know if I can go much slower. All right, so there's your first row of single crochets, and how you can count is, again, like we did with the chains, but up top. See how it looks like a braid, like a chain? Those V's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now this is where we're going to remember the number 7. Okay. If you wanted it wider, your first row of chains, you could have added some chains on. So 10, whatever you wanted it to be. You're still skipping 1 for your second row. So same with making it smaller, you would subtract those chains. I'll write it down in the description box below, but for the purpose of this video, we're sticking with the number 7. Okay, 7 single crochets across. Now we're going to go on to our second row and create that ridge effect. Ooh, that ridge. So we need to make a turning chain, and what a turning chain does is it creates the height for our row for our single crochet. So we do the same thing like we did for a chain. We yarn over, pull it through that loop, and that is our turning chain. Then we flip our work over, because whenever we do crochet, we go from right to left. Okay, so now that we have our turning chain, we flip it because we need to make a ridge. Instead of going through like normally, like this is through, we're going to flip it to the side so we can see those braids. And we stick it through the middle just like we did with the chain. So it's just 1 loop that we stick it through, yarn over, pull up, yarn over again, pull through both loops. Okay, I'm hoping you can see this in the video because I don't know how much closer I can get. So see the top of it, stick your hook straight in through and out that loop, yarn over, pull that yarn up. You have now 2 loops on your hook, pull through both. Okay, stick it down in there. It'll pop out that other side, yarn over, pull that yarn up. You have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull it through. I'm going to do it one more time and then I'll go fast. Stick it through, yarn over, pull through. You've got 2 loops, yarn over again, pull it up. Okay, so you want to make sure you're doing 7 crochet or 7 single crochets across. Okay, and it should look like this. So we'll do 1 more row and then I will cut and come back, because this is all you're doing for the length of your piece. This is it. This is it. This is as tricky as it gets. So again, once you hit that end of the row, you're going to want to do your turning chain, which is just yarn over, pull through that loop, turn your work, flip it so you can see the braid, stick your hook directly in through the top and out the other side, yarn over, pull that yarn up. Now you have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over again, pull through both loops, stick it through that braid, yarn over, pull it through. You got 2 loops, yarn over again, pull it through. This is all you're doing, guys. Literally it. This is why it's so beginner friendly. Once you get that knot down and the movement and the tension, which it will be easy, it might take a couple of tries. You guys can literally make like your first piece. And that's what's so exciting about crochet. So again, we got to count to make sure we have 7 loops. 1, 2, 3, it's hard to see with the multicolors. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. You can also count it by pulling them apart a little bit. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And that's it. Do you see how it made that little cute ridge? Like an accordion? Wah, wah. Just make sure you're always doing a turning chain at the end of your row. So yarning over and pulling through, and then turning your work the opposite way and going right to left, and you're good to go. So you continue doing these rows until you reach the length that you want to get for your headband, okay? So this is what it's gonna turn into. This is how it looks. See where we're going with it? So just keep adding on those rows to the length that you measured around your head, okay? From this way, the longer length, not the width length, the longer length. All right, so I'm gonna continue to make this for you guys, and I'm gonna cut here, and then I will meet you back here in a matter of seconds for you. But then we'll show you how to finish this off, to finish the rest of it, and then put it together. All right, guys, I'll see you in a minute. All right, and we're back. So this is where I'm up to. It kind of looks a little bit wonky just because I have not been stretching the stuff out like this. To adjust it, you can kind of just whoop, stretch it out, make sure it's all the same width, looks good. But this is where I'm at, this long piece. Okay, so I'm gonna do about 3 more rows real fast, and then I will show you how to finish it off. So I have my turning chain. I'm just gonna floop, turn it around, keep going. So I'm going to put my Instagram down below in the description box. If you've made this, I want to see. Message me, at me on your Instagram if you post it. I don't really know how it works. So basically, post it to your Instagram, tag me. That's how it works, yes. Tag me, and I would love to see what you guys have made. I love it. So I'll put that down below, and I'm super excited to see how you guys did and what kind of yarn you used, if you personalized it with buttons or, you know, pins, patches, you name it. I'm excited. There's many ways that you can end this, but we're going to do one method today. You can do it to where it's just you stop and you don't connect it and you add buttons instead and push it through, but that's a whole nother project, because we need to make spaces for those buttons and measure the buttons and all that stuff. But so I'm at my end. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna do one turning chain. I'm gonna show you the easy way. So since there's really no front or back to this right now, I'm going to just take the both ends, mush them together, okay? So you see how the ends meet up, fuzz everywhere, like this. So you have your one turning chain, and we're still doing left to right. Don't worry about this tail, we're gonna weave that in. Or you can, you know, put it through like this, I'll just show you how to weave it in so make sense of it. So this time we're going to go through, put our hook through both loops. So instead of what we did like this, we're going to go through both loops and both loops over here. Okay. We're going to yarn over. If my hands can just work with me instead of against me, yarn over, pull through. So you have 2 loops and do your single crochet. You can do a slip knot as well. I'm just going to show you this way since you're easy. Well, here, I'll show you too the slip knot. I'll pull it out. So you can do either way. The slip knot just makes it so it's less bulky in that area. There's like not really a seam. So I'll show you that way. So same concept, put it through all of those, yarn over and pull up with that loop and take this loop, this one loop, pull it through the other like you're making a chain. Okay, I'll show you one more time. So now we're going to go through both loops right here. Find the other one that's right here. Yarn over. Pull it through. Take that loop and pull it through that one. Okay? Yarn over. Pull through. You have 2 loops. Take this loop. Pull it through the other. Okay? That is it. That's all we do. You can do the single crochet, but I'm showing you this way because it might make it less bulkier for you. And it gives it a nice little clean finish. Oh, come on, don't get caught on the fibers. There. Sometimes that happens and you just gotta roll with it. All right. Last but not least, one last loop. Okay, and then what I like to do to finish it off is do 1 chain, pull it through, and then this tail piece, leave enough when you cut it from the skein to where you have enough to weave your ends through. Okay, so see all of that lovely goodness? I cut more than I need. And then you're going to go back to your loop, pull it all the way through, because technically that, my friends, is a knot, and it's not going anywhere. Now the fun part comes. You have your headband. What do you do with the 2 tails? Well, I'll show you. You take your little needle. We'll find out if this is big enough. If not, I'll grab another one. You take your needle, find your end, weave it through. Oh yeah, it's just going to take some finagling. There we go. Bam. So pull enough through to where it's not going to slip out. And then again, right to left, you can weave it through. And since it's pretty much the same color, it doesn't matter how you weave it in. But you just kind of make sure to go back and forth through. You can do it that way, or you can go through the loops like this. Basically, all you're doing is doing like 3 weaves so that your tail doesn't go unraveling. That's it. And then you can cut right up against, whoop, hello hook, right up against there, bam. Okay, and then we have one more tail to weave in, and you do the same thing. I'll show you again. All these little fibers, pull through that end, and I'll show you, I'm gonna weave through, pull it through here, and then weave through the knots, or the stitches, whatever those little loops are. You can be as sloppy as you want, as long as you weave through like 3, because then that tail isn't going to go anywhere. See, I stretch it, It's not going to go anywhere. I do a lot of extra because I'm paranoid. But reality is you don't need to do more than 3. But I just like peace of mind. Okay, there's like proper ways to weave in ends and get into all that. But as far as a beginner goes, this is perfectly fine. Everybody has their own way of doing things. There's like the specific ways of doing it. And then like the instructions, right? For like everything crochet. And then when it comes to like weaving and stuff like that, do what feels right. So then this is a seam, right? We just flip it over. And now we're left with a seamless headband, right? Super cute. So you can add some buttons up here. You can add a little flower. You can add whatever you want. This is just your base. You can leave it as is. But quite frankly, I love the way that this is like accordion style because you can have that stretch to it. So it can fit a general amount of people. So I didn't even give you the measurements on how long I made it. So let's see. I got too excited to show you how to finish. So mine was about, let's just say 20 inches. Okay. You can go and do, however many rows that you think will fit your head or the person's head that you made it. And the great thing about it though, is there is a stretch. Like look at how much more stretch that is. That's a big head. Okay. So yay, your first headband. Okay. Your first fall headband is now completed. And I know this video is a little long, but I wanted to include the how-tos because I find it very, very, very lucrative to see it actually happen. You can read it in a book, but sometimes it doesn't make sense for certain people when they're learning. So when you have that visual representation, it's really, really helpful. At least it is for me in the way I learn, because sometimes there's too much information thrown at you at once. At least with visually, you can pause it, stop it, rewind, that sort of a thing. So I hope this helped you. I hope that you guys are now inspired to make your own projects, your own headbands. And if you do, please tag me. I will link my Instagram down below so you can tag me in your photos so I can see your progress, see how far you come, see what you made. I am so excited. And yeah, that's your first headband, guys. Woohoo! Happy fall, y'all. I'm super excited for colder weather. How about you? Leave me a comment. Let me know if you like this video, if you found it helpful. If you really liked it, go ahead and leave me a thumbs up. And also, if you have not yet subscribed, I have a lot more stuff coming. So, you know, technically I do a lot of tarot and that sort of thing, but I do crafts as well. So I'm going to be posting more fun things, maybe some more crochet, more for intermediate as well. So let me know what you want to see. If there's a suggestion, I will be happy to see if I can accommodate. And if not, that's cool too. Let me know how you liked it. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. Thanks to the new subscribers. Thank you all for, you know, coming back and watching me. I really appreciate it, and I really enjoy seeing your comments. So I'll see you guys later. Have a great one. Bye-bye.